happening, everyone? Happy frickin' Wednesday! You got your fluffy socks on. You got your orange juice with ice cubes. About 6 or 7 ice cubes in that orange juice. Shout out there, friend. So many. I think I've been watching his videos more than any other in the morning. Fantastic. You may spit your coffee out at some points because he's so hilarious. So great. A lot of good content coming out here. I'm speaking of great content. Oh my God! Today we got the connoisseurs, the 2 alpha connoisseurs. They even have a show called Pure Alpha, so you know it's legit, right? Axis and Sloth are here. They are here to break down all the fun, exciting stuff going on in the ecosystem that you may care about. If you like Hex, if you like PulseChain, if you like Hedron, you're going through a lot of that. PulseChain could be launching at any moment, like now. Did it launch? Do you even know if it launched? It could have launched. No warning shots from Richard Hardy. You already said that. There could be 2 buttons. One that says Testnet V3, and the other button he pushes like 55 seconds later. That's go live mainnet. That's what kind of stuff we're dealing with today. Serious stuff, everyone. Anyways, say out to the chat. Everyone, calm down. Calm down for a moment. We're going to get into it. We're going to bring these 2 gentlemen in. First, I have to talk to chat. You never know. We could be on our way. We should go to the moon. We go to Mars. We go to Pluto. We go to fucking another universe. You never know. I'm rocked. I'm ready to rock and roll myself. I gotta say, Hex mining hodler. Interesting to see those new names. We got Nate Stakes went to Nate Mintz, and we'll see if he's Nate Publisher at the end of the year. You never know. Good to see you though. Welcome, Godfather J6. Appreciate it, man. All day, every day. Jamie Barker. Salutations to you. What was the news? Richard, he's been tweeting some stuff. Steve D, won't disappoint you, man. Will not disappoint you with this one. No pressure, other 2 gentlemen. You guys will be doing most of the talking, but I think you'll like what we had to say today. Let's see, just scrolling through so we get started. LJ Mack, haven't seen him before. Welcome to the stream. Red Squirrel, stopping by for the algos, or maybe you just can't sleep. One of those. Either way, welcome. Hex is obliterating the hell out of everything. True that. Fix your back. I feel pretty good. My back feels good. I don't know. I like my back. I'm satisfied with my back currently, but interesting to know. Jack G. You guys got to explain your name sometimes because I appreciate the rocket. Jack ZG. Zach G. Anyways, pronounce that for me later if you like. Finbear, welcome. Cryptographics, having you on the show Friday for an amazing. I just ruined the 100% uptime surprise, didn't I? Anyways, somebody ended up with fluffy kittens and strawberries. Oh, our friend Somi. Anyways, graphics may or may not be coming on the show soon. Axis is ready to go. Hex 647 is ready to go. It's happening, everyone. It's happening. Sorry if I missed you. Not going to get everyone in, but now we got to get the 2 gentlemen of the hour in before the 5-minute mark. That's my goal as your intro maestro. Welcome to the stream. Sloth and AxisAlive. What's happening, fellas?
What's up, buddy?
How's it going, everybody in the chat? What's going on, RHMax? Thanks for having me back on. Glad that I'm be joined by you the company of you 2 fine young gentlemen this evening, morning, wherever you are.
I'm happy to be back, man. I love coming on your stream, man.
I love when you come on the stream, Sloth. I don't know who's been on here more times. It's either Axis. I was making the folder for Axis 4, and then Sloth been on here at least 4 times. I would say I'm going with at least 4.
At least 4, yeah. I've been carrying your stream, man. Yeah. I have. I'm just kidding.
Every few weeks when I have Sloth on, the sub count just murders the numbers. It just keeps going up. Where's that Axis? One of those. Oh my God, both of you are here. This is good stuff. I like this. Anyway, check out this new cup. I got this new cup. Boom.
What does it say?
Hex.com. Let's go.
No. Zoom in. No.
I'm seeing a little bit of it. Half of it.
World's first blockchain CD. Yeah, it's hard to see.
First invisible cup.
World's first chart on a cup.
I don't know if you knew this, but the tears of Hex haters, they're acidic. They burn right through the cup.
I still have that cup. That's one of my favorite cups, actually. Every time I drink from it, I get a smile. I just get a smile every time thinking about this. Poor haters at 11 cents here. Dixon Cider. I remember Dixon Piper. Was that a joke? What is that a Piper reference? I don't know. I need to get him back on the show too. He is hilarious and amazing.
I think that's like a general crypto commentator, Dixon Cider.
Dixon Cider, is it? Okay. I don't know if I know him. Okay.
I've seen him in a couple chats. He comes in and he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm young. Can I join?
Oh, what's up, Silver?
Yeah, Silver. If you're interested, these guys want to let you in, then yeah. I thought you were in some crazy time zone. So, anywho, who else we got?
He lives on Saturn.
He lives on Saturn. Nice.
He's
just short for my name. I'm Jacob. Jacob. Okay. I can believe it. So Red Squirrel says I have a half hour before sleep. Mac, thank you for spending with us, Red Squirrel. Appreciate that. So, gentlemen, what do you want to dive into first? We got a few things we've pre-gamed on, but what direction? I'll leave it up to you two. Where do you want to go first?
I don't know. I'll go anyway, man. I mean, we've been pumping these past couple of days. Been feeling pretty good. I think I saw we tapped 11 cents today. That was fun. Hedron tapped 3,000. That was pretty cool. Icosa got back up to 80 cents for a bit. That was also pretty cool.
We were still not happy with Icosa. Don't try to church it up, Sloth, okay? Don't try to church it up. Oh, it's 80 cents. Oh, it was $1 for a long time, and we thought it was a stable coin or at least $1 and only went up. So,
hey, but you know what? I don't mind a little dump when you're getting like 4 extra Icosa every year.
Dude, yield is insane. It's true. Yeah, maybe let's
that's a good question. That's a good question. Like, when it comes to these inflation, how do you value these things when you factor in like their how much you're actually seeing in an APY and a return, especially in the case of Icosa,
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that there you could find some sort of ceiling price based on the inflation rate or the APY that you're seeing? If you could find some sort of adjusted expectations of price based on that.
Yeah. I mean, hold on. Let me see how far. It's like, I think around 75% off the ceiling price right now. It's a 5.2x, which is like a 5x. That's like 80% off. I think that's an 80% discount. A 5%. 5x is an 80% discount, right? And just rough numbers, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 ways Icosa can enter the system. HSI buyback and all 3 staking pools. That's 4 ways it can enter the system. Only one of them is the direct tie to like the ceiling price. So like you could say like maybe it's like the ceiling price divided by 4. So it's like a 75% off discount, and we're at like 80% right now. That's like rough numbers off the top of my head, something like that. And then that kind of lines up with the 300-ish% APY, which is like 4 extra bags.
Didn't you add the ceiling price to your website recently, Sloth?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
It's actually pretty great. I used to go through like Dextrainer stuff to check all the charts, and then I would like remember like, oh yeah, it's all on my website. Let me just pull that up on my phone, and it shows it all up. It's actually really nice.
You're like the janitor on Good Will Hunting, who he's like the genius, but like he doesn't want to tell anyone. He just wants to like walk around. He wants to be discovered, and Sloth's like discovering himself through his own website. Amazing.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool when I built that a couple months ago. I should use that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Dude, I use it. I think a lot of people use it, man. Humble brag on your website is well deserved. It's a fantastic resource, and
appreciate that.
Look into hedron.com. I'll drop it in the chat.
But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but like those Icosa pumps hit a little differently. I was talking about this on with Dane and Corey yesterday, but like for some reason, like I don't know, like I see Icosa pumping and it gives me like a really like special feeling that like I don't get as much with Hedron and Icosa, and I think it's just because I get so much of it. Like the yield is just so heavy that after a dip, I have so much more of it. Like the dollar value just explodes whenever any price appreciation happens.
We got a question from while we're on it looks like we're diving into the Hedron Icosa first. Mr. Capuzzo says, my question for Icosa and Hedron, what would be a realistic floor look like based on the function of the system?
Realistic floor based on the fundamentals of the system. I don't know off the top of my head. The
I
floor
don't think
started.
you're gonna make a new. I don't think you'll make a new all-time low. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
I think, and that's probably even true on the Hedron Hex and Icosa Hex chart. I don't know. It probably won't make a lower low from here. So that could be like your potential bottom, or at least if you start to retest it for a double bottom, a decent place to re-enter if you have any extra capital. But I think for the most part, the systems are pretty much understood by most people who like most active participants in the system, and I think people value it pretty well. So I think, and we've been holding like some pretty good support on like the 2,000 level in Hedron and like the 50 cent level in Icosa. So I think we're setting some lifetime historical floors for the system right now, personally.
Too, especially when you factor in USDC.
Yeah.
You know, the Hex can continue to run. You know, a lot of that price action is based on the hype of Testnet V3. Anytime Richard Hart makes a tweet, the fucking price goes 30-40%. So it's like, you know, he can play that game with the market for a long time, and people will continue to have to be forced to buy in anticipation of that fork because it's effectively a doubling. And after the the snapshot occurs, right, then you're out of the running for that doubling. And I think that's kind of what the fear is, right? Is that, you know, you miss out, and now you have to make the choice of where you're going to put your economic energy. Are you going to buy Hex on ETH? Are you going to buy PulseX? Are you going to buy PulseChain, PulseX? What are you going to, like, where are you putting your money at that point? It becomes a lot harder, especially when you start factoring the derivatives, right? Hedron on both chains, Icosa on both chains. Not to speak even onto Maximus DAO, like all the different derivatives, perpetuals they have over there. So it really becomes a complex system at that point. Yeah. I'm excited to see how that all plays out.
Were you talking about Richard may have an impact on the price? As people asked him, I've been going through his streams, and every time someone says, "What are you going to do for me?" he says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I just sit around. I just sit around." So I tweet sometimes, I guess. Say hi to Chad Donnerswans. You know, every time I see Chad come in the chat, I have that Jay-Z voice, like the Don is in the building. Like I have that Jay-Z like Paris song with Kanye in my head every time I see Chad. So welcome, Chad. Welcome, Alex Sutton. Best gang in the I don't know. I mean, I'm honored, but we don't. Graphics is not currently on the screen. GIF's not currently on the screen. Blue Bone's not currently on the screen. But we got some. Sloth is pretty good. He's pretty good. Axis, he's not bad either. Not bad. Yeah. So, I had something on heat before we get into Axis. Probably chomping at the bit right now. Just question 2 on the Hedron ecosystem. What do you think is going to happen? So we see Hex pumping. Everyone's like, oh, you know, Hex. All the focus is on Hex right now, but with Hedron, Icosa, specifically, I mean, I think Hedron's mechanics are a little bit more relevant here too. Of what happens, you know, what is the bull case? Will it run with Hex into PulseChain launch? You know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I think, a couple things there. So the first one is that like Hedron will run with Hex because it's tied in liquidity to Hex to a degree, as well as it's part of the Hex ecosystem. So I guess Hex pumps, Hedron pumps. It's kind of like the logic from a psychological standpoint. Like they're psychologically tied to each other and tied to each other from a liquidity standpoint. The other reason why Hedron would probably run with Hex, at least after Hex does a run and cools off, is because of the deals you're getting on the liquidation auction. So like as Hex goes up, it takes more and more Hedron to get a good deal on that liquidation auction. Like a 50% deal when Hex is 10 cents is a different dollar value than if Hex is 20 cents. Right. So like you need more Hedron if Hedron hasn't run. So either people are buying it off the market to get those deals, or people who would have been selling some of their Hedron presumably are using it to get cheaper T-shares now that the market price has run away from them. So that's like another like mechanic that ties Hedron to the Hex price. I actually am of the opinion that I think once PulseChain launches, like Hedron and Icosa is going to kind of take a back seat, because we have so much going on in the PulseChain ecosystem. Like all these systems that we've been talking about, Liquid Loans, Power City, all the pH stuff, not to mention PulseChain, PulseX. Like, there are going to be so many things diverting attention, and everyone kind of understands Hedron and Icosa pretty well. I think it's going to take a back seat. But honestly, that's just opportunity. Like, if the deal gets too juicy, like, you could just scoop up bigger bags on the Pulse side or on the ETH side. At least that's what I'm going to be looking for.
Interesting how the psychology of PulseChain being a distraction is actually bullish for accumulating Hedron. You're kind of going in that direction.
Because the fundamental value of it isn't going to change. Your ability to get cheap shares isn't going to change. In fact, it might even be easier because there are two auction houses you got to pay attention to, one on the PulseChain side and one on the Ethereum side. I mean, I'm going to have to update my website to make sure I get the PulseChain data for it too at some point, get the live stats for both chains, but still, it's just going to, the complexity is doubling. And I think it's actually going to it's like a Metcalfe's law kind of thing. It doesn't get double as hard. It gets like 4 times as hard because it's the square of it.
Right.
I agree with that. I think it's going to be, we're facing a problem of dilution, which is why I think so much focus and energy is going into Hex right now. And that's why I think all of the price action is going to happen over there, is because it's easy to focus on one thing right now. This is the last chance of it being all focused on one thing before that snapshot, right? But then, so as a function of Hex being more expensive, T-shares gets more expensive. So then once the Hedron price is so far down relative to T-shares, that becomes a very attractive buy. And if you look at the Hedron pools, like, you can see that price is sitting on the edge of low liquidity zones. So it doesn't take much economic energy in terms of USDC to push the Hedron price up.
Yep.
No.
It really doesn't. The Hedron is so much lighter of an asset, and that's another way of saying it's a much smaller cap token. There's so much less liquidity, so it really doesn't take that much money to move it up. The flip side to that is that it's harder to enter with larger size bags. So actually, Axis, this isn't something that we haven't talked about that much, but there's a dynamic that we have to consider for these new ETH Genesis whales trying to get into Hex. So like the large players in Hex, some of them have a decent amount of Ethereum, but they already have their Hex position and they have their 10x minting bonuses. So they're good on Hedron. They don't really need to put economic energy in. But as these larger Ethereum whales that want to protect the ETH Hex side of things, especially after the PulseChain fork, because it's their certificate of deposit on the chain that they have a lot of economic energy on, they're eventually going to learn about Hedron, Icosa, and all of that, and potentially want to get a piece of that system as well. And then part of their economic energy might try to go into there too. But if it's too low liquidity, or it's too hard to, if they keep moving the price up against themselves too hard, it may not be a deterrent, but slow down their ability to move their liquidity in.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dynamic we haven't talked about quite yet. That would be good to.
It's going to be so hard for the ETH whales to get a decent enough amount of the supply with no liquidity to trade into on Hedron and Icosa. But, maybe that gives opportunity for them to create a huge candle to draw interest, to start people start floating that direction, and then to buy the pullback on that, right? And to provide liquidity there in terms of ETH to buy that pullback. So imagine an ETH whale that's sitting on 10,000 ETH or 20,000 ETH comes in and makes like a 1,000 ETH, or not even, you wouldn't need that much, a percentage,
100.
let's say 10% or 5% of their bag. Yeah. 100 ETH buy, and they move the price. I'd have to do the calculation, but let's just say hypothetically they move the price 200% or 300% with one market buy. Is that going to be enough to entice the 10x minters to offload their bags into then their newly resting liquidity, maybe only 100% off their candle? So that way, on that sell-off, they can absorb a ton of the supply, and then the net difference is that you can still buy T-shares on a discount, right? So then it's a whole new angle for an ETH Gen whale to basically get access to T-shares through the auctions, I guess. And then, so yeah, I could definitely see a play there, an opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see if somebody takes that route. Definitely within the realm of possibility, I would say.
Is that another bullish case for Hedron and the Hedron ecosystem? Is people coming into PulseChain, they're going to look around and say, okay, what's the most popular products? Where's the biggest communities, the sub communities within? And they're going to see Hedron, they're going to see PulseX, of course. But is it just a function? And maybe we have a pulsemarketcap.com. Maybe we have something to actually give some people data on a lot of the market caps or otherwise information. Is that going to be something that they're going to look and, okay, let me start investing You know, kind of like people do with CoinMarketCap. Like, oh, what's the top 10? All right, let's go get an index into them, no matter what they are. Can you all see that happening with PulseChain of like, all right, let's get an index. Maybe it's got Hedron in it. It's got other popular coins in it.
Well, that's what Flux is going to be. It's a balancer fork. So it's going to be liquidity pools with multiple assets in them. And by owning that liquidity pool token for those pools, like you'll basically be owning an index of all those pools. So there'll be like a Maximus DAO one where you have all of the perps in a single liquidity pool together, and they're sharing all the liquidity together. So they're, instead of all of them being fractional and having a divided amount of USDC, they're all gonna be sharing the same USDC and share all the liquidity together to make it more easy to enter and exit positions, which actually I think they're gonna probably benefit a lot from that fork. But also you can have like a RH index where you have a liquidity pool of Hex, eHex, pHex, PulseChain in a pool, and then you could have like the Icosa Hedron system where you have Hex, Hedron, Icosa all in one single liquidity pool. And by owning that token, you essentially own an index of all of those assets, because as they go up together or down together, that liquidity pool token will track that value. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna have that.
I haven't even thought about the indexes like that. That is super cool. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. Give me that index. Give me that. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. So before we finish up on that, follow-up question. What's the more profitable move? Doing a sort of index or a pool like that, or doing individual tokens that you like? For example, just Hex versus PulseChain versus PulseX, or just Hedron versus Hedron Icosa, whatever it may be.
I'll just take that Axis.
Yeah, it's a great question. I guess there's no way to know for sure. But if we're going to compare Hex to Bitcoin and the goal is to outperform the highest appreciating asset of all time in Bitcoin, and Hex has already done that and beaten its all-time high twice, and it's going to do it again for the third time. And that's the only real way to get any kind of economic power in PulseChain right now, because you've missed the PulseChain SAC or PulseX SAC. I really do think that consolidating funds into Hex is the most profitable play. And that might not look the same way over the whole bull run. There will be times when the index is going to overperform, and there are going to be times when Hex overperforms. But ultimately, all of the momentum and volume is coming into Hex. And so that's like the equivalent of the alt seasons theory, where in like 2017, like all the money would flow first into Bitcoin. You'd have a huge pump on that, and then the cup would overflow, and some of those funds would then fall off and into Ethereum and then the altcoins and so on and so forth. I think effectively what you're getting in Hex is that conduit, or that stability, in terms of an always constant yield in the immutable monetary policy of the T-share. And so that's like the driving force behind it. That's where all the economic energy is going. It's also, like, as I said before, the conduit, meaning there's going to be some form of liquidity bonding between ETHX and PulseX. And so that's going to be the bridge. The actual coin itself is going to be the bridge where economic energy floats between. And their liquidity is going to be tied enough together that they will move up and down together as a ratio. So then if you want to capture moves on any other coin, you'll be using Hex to flow in and out of those other things. Because I really do believe, I have a kind of a contrary belief about PulseChain and PulseX than most people want to admit, which is that, most people on PulseChain and PulseX are looking for the exit. There's a lot of people that are underwater that put a lot of money into that thing, and they're looking for quick returns to get out of bad situations that they're in. And so it could be, as with many layer ones, that you see downside early on, And so without going too far into speculation on that, I still think that, Hex has already been through a 500 plus day bear market downtrend, and a lot of the weak hands are sold, and we have actual like on-chain proof that the real threats to Hex right now are minimal compared to what we were at 56 cents last, when was that? 2021 now. So it's been a long time, but we've had to flush out the bad money, so to speak, in Hex. And so much user supply has been taken off the market that now you have such a clear runway, and now you have all this new demand. And Metcalfe's law and adoption follows green candles, and you're getting those now. So now you're starting to see attention put back on it. so many big names are looking at Hex and saying this is your avenue into PulseChain. But PulseChain is just this, it's the scapegoat. It's like the thing that, it's the dumb pipe, as Johnny KS likes to say. It's the thing that, yeah, it can do 100x, 1000x, maybe even if you're lucky. But, you know, how long is that going to take? And what are you going to miss on the way by not getting exposure to Hex now? Like, capturing this last 500% on Hex was the beginning of the big move, right? And so that's why I've been, you know, saying for months. Sloth will beat me over the head now that I'm saying this again, but, you know, risk has been to the upside since November, and it still is, so, you know, ultimately I think, you know, the whole reason why PulseChain was invented was to satisfy the Hex staker class, and all of that economic energy came from Hex. Like, over half of the PulseChain sacrifice was Hex. And so those people that are in Hex, they believe in it long term, and the money will always flow to where the yield is ultimately. And whether that takes 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years, that's what I see as the next big thing. Hex will become cryptocurrency. Like, that's how big I think Hex is going to be. Whether you're talking about Hex on ETH, where it's being protected by ETH Genesis whales who have a sense of ownership over their chain and want to capture a higher return, knowing that their ETH bags may be only like 5 to 8x this cycle, you know, versus putting a portion of their bags into Hex on the way to $1 plus and seeing those kinds of returns. Remember, that's where the volume is, that's where the buy demand is, and this is not just a typical sell the news event. You know, this is a reimagining. This is like a rebuilding cryptocurrency from the ground up with a stable coin that's immutable and unchangeable. And it has that underlying yield component. Its inflation is predictable. The future market supply is predictable. You can know everything from on the chain. And what we can know about PulseChain and PulseX is there's a lot of people that sacrifice a lot of money for that, and we don't know what that looks like on the other side. We know that there's going to be people that are going to chase those coins because people have made that pretty public and apparent. And so I would just encourage people to not be so hasty to dump your PHEX bags or your PulseX bags for Pulse immediately. They will anyways, and PulseChain will probably go on a 20x rip off the start. But then once the ratio gets out of hand, it'll be like a swashing back of coins back into the coin that's being treated worst, because smart money will go to where the ratio is in their favor. And then it'll just be like a long-term play, right? Yeah, these things can all go up a lot. And so that's why maybe having the index will work out. Like, basically the best play is to have exposure to all of these things and just sit on your hands and just watch it all happen. But if you want to take a little bit of risk with a percentage of your portfolio, then yeah, you can play that game, and it's going to be exciting. You know, I believe all of these tokens are going to have massive upside, because the staker class is like 120,000 wallets right now, and that's probably duplicates or triplicates of the same people doing the separate wallets and stuff. So you're really looking like 60, 70,000 users that are staked in Hex, and that's your core, right? So that core 60, 70,000 users is up against 9 million Ethereum wallets that still have probably potentially no consciousness or no awareness of Hex. And so now that attention is being brought to it, I can't even imagine the kind of parabolic move Hex can put in, being 95% traded on chain. And I'm just really excited to see how it all plays out. I guess my bet's on Hex. It always has been, and I'd love to see how this all plays out in the coming years.
Now, wouldn't it be just a miracle to convert all the NPCs into Hex holders and the mining class? Just taking it, I think that's one part of it that I really got at what you said too. It's just our ability to, you know, thinking beyond, zooming out, looking at crypto as a whole, you know, looking at this kind of fresh start that we have with that. A lot of people may have caught with Hex early price, or they may be catching up, or they may be staking for a long time now and trying to get the T-shares and all this stuff. But we really give people a chance at the better product, the superior product. I mean, Richard said it a million times, part of his greatest hits, but this is something that if we can bring people into a system that's fair and designed to get you where you want to go, if you make the right choices, man, that's like it's more of like an ethos even than just the price performance chart. So that's cool. That's the heart. That's the heart part. I like that.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Dip Catcher, what's happening, man? One of my favorite founders in the industry. What is Hex? You are funny, sir. You are funny. Scroll.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead,
Dipcatcher
Sloth.
actually has a pinned tweet on his Twitter profile that's from pre-Hex launch, talking about this new certificate of deposit on the blockchain, and
It's so good.
funny. He was so ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He's ahead of us, and he's just murdering the utility aspect of being in this ecosystem, murdering it so hard on the gold key
I
books.
can't even imagine what the speculative run-ups are going to look like on those tokens that they built in the next bull, whether that's next year, 2025 or 2026. Like, once Hex peaks, let's say Hex goes straight to $5 or $2, whatever, pick a top dollar target. Once it takes its pause, it takes its breath, the Hedron and Icosa and the Maximus perps are going to just freaking rip, because it's going to be the place where people chase gains with a small amount of their portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Just scrolling through chat here, and we'll go on to the next segment. I imagine it's TA. Is that where you want to go, Axis?
I suppose we could look at a couple things on TA. There was some interesting developments in the dollar today, and then that kind of led into some interesting action on, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex. We all know that Hex hit 11 cents. Let's see if I can pull up the screen here.
I mean, RHMax, Sloth, and Axis available for name claim. Duh! Now we got to buy them back for 0.4 ETH later.
Is it how much is it to buy one of the names?
0.2.
0.2.
Yeah. So can you imagine what they may be worth later? No expectations, but that'd be cool if some of the cooler names really went nuts, especially when I believe they're getting converted to NFTs too. So there'll definitely be a secondary market and all that.
Yep. What was I going to say? I definitely agree with Axis, though, that I think I wouldn't underestimate how many people want to exit upon the launch. Like, once we get the bridge and you can actually extract value, I wouldn't underestimate the number of people who are really looking for an exit. The question is, how many people who didn't get an entry in the sacrifice, how much money is there, and how quickly are they looking to accumulate? That's the real question that we just don't know.
Yeah, if I was like the number one sacrificer for PulseChain and PulseX, I wouldn't be coming in trying to pump the price off the rip, right? I'd be sitting back, letting everyone else fumble around and make mistakes and drop the price 85 or 95% before I came back in and swooped up everyone's bags at a huge discount.
And just be cemented as the giga whale of the system forever, basically. Because there are just no coins to get. There eventually gets to a point where there are like not enough coins for people to like match you anymore, and then like it just doesn't matter what the price is at that point, because, well, one, you can't exit anyway with all that money, but that's not what you that's not why you have the bag. You have the bag for the influence and the valuation of the coins. But anyways, go ahead, Axis.
Okay, so here we got the dollar currency index on the weekly. Anytime the dollar currency index breaks down in a massive way like this, it usually spells upside for risk assets such as equities and stocks, and then also in cryptocurrency. So, as we all know, Bitcoin most recently bottomed, and now it's made its next leg up and touched 28.6K. So that's moving quite well off its 15.5 bottom. But that's as a function of people fleeing out of, the dollar, which is where you just consistently lose purchasing power. So this is a technical pattern here that's called a head and shoulders pattern. And we just saw the cross of the midlines here where these two dotted lines crossed, and that's actually where we saw the breakdown today. So this is if I zoom way out, this is an ascending channel that goes all the way back to the year 2008 on the DXY. So this is like a massive trend, right? And we just broke below it now for the second time this year. And if I zoom in again, now that you've seen the larger picture, on the smaller time frame, we've been in a downtrend, and now we just broke below the midline on the downtrend. So now you're below the downtrend midline, and you're below the uptrend midline. So there's like so much force on the DXY right now. There's so much pressure on it, and people are exiting that coin, the dollar, and because they don't want their life savings to get inflated away. So what we're looking for here now is a for sure final closure of the dollar below this green line and a resumption off that level down. And I'm kind of targeting that 99 level. And if that were to occur, Bitcoin can finally eclipse its like $36,000, $37,000 level, which is a base target. And where I'm getting that from is if you look at lookintobitcoin.com, and believe me, guys, I'll get to the why this is good for Hex in a minute, but Bitcoin's the signal here, right? Let's see here. Wrong chart. Golden ratio. I've been bringing this up a lot lately. Anytime Bitcoin came out of a bear market and it could get above the gold line, it goes straight for green. in almost all cases. So what you see here is that price consolidated below the 350-day moving average in gold, and then bottomed, and then came back up, and now we're above it and trading higher. And this is bullish because anytime it's done this in the past, for example, 2012, once you got above it and held, it kind of formed that similar sideways price action, and then went up to green, and then shortly after red. Back here in 2015, same thing, got above it, went to green, consolidated sideways for 6 months, then went to red. 2018, similar thing, bottomed out, got above the gold 350-day moving average, went up to touch green, and then shortly after went to red. So, we're looking at this now. We're looking at, a $37,000 target. And that's where we're heading in Bitcoin. And then after that, red line's at 46,000. So then the question remains like, okay, so if we can say that if things play out the same way again, we have confluence of data here in the dollar where people are exiting the dollar under these conditions where, huge banks are failing, the biggest bank failing since 2008. And you have gold ripping today. It's just amazing. This means that, gold has always been an inflation hedge. So when you have massive inflation in the global markets, people flee out of dollars and they go into safe havens. And now what we're seeing is that gold is a safe haven, and as it always has been. And then with the crypto markets, generally, if I look at the total crypto cap, I mean, it's just holding its levels, right? So if I zoom in here, we can maybe see a little bit closer how this is a clean test of this large downtrend across the total crypto cap. And then this candle that closed 2 weeks ago it's called a hammer. That is a reversal candle, and that's one of the most bullish kind of candles you can get, and that's on a weekly chart. So this is just a sideways week until next week. We'll probably even go higher on total crypto cap. And so, yeah, these are all setting up for a larger move. And Ethereum's kind of lagging behind, and I have my reasonings for that. If you look at ETH against Bitcoin, it's kind of lagging behind. And that's probably bullish because anytime you can get more closer down here to this 0.06 BTC per ETH level, it'd be like a potential buy opportunity. I know Bitcoin's just moving so rapidly right now that it's going to be hard to catch up because big institutional money is seeing the opportunity here to create a 2 to 3x in the price action of this in a relatively short order. And if you're putting in $50 million or $100 million and seeing a 2 to 3x on that kind of money in less than a year, that's like unheard of in legacy banking, like legacy investments. That stuff usually takes 10 years or 20 years, and there's a lot of overhead and things that you got to keep track of if you're going to be investing in something to see those kinds of returns. And so I guess this is just a first call for coming out of the bottom, and things look good. I mean, safe haven is crypto, man. Obviously, we can't ignore Hex, which performed incredibly well coming off that USDC depegging event here. It just basically turned around, and then as the USDC depegged away, it went from dollar parity to fell down to 91% or 91 cents on the dollar, and this thing just floated up. If I go to a 15-minute chart, you can really see how amazing that looked. Let's see here. Got to go back to here. This is just the price going up as a function of the depegging. So from this point here on the 10th of March to right here, there was no real volume increases. If the price went up almost 10%, obviously remember it went from $1 to 91 cents. There's your 10%. And then people were like, oh God, this is crazy. This is happening. And then people actually started buying the asset in fear of the USDC depegging even further. And that pushed prices way up into new territory, right? Looks like Testnet V3 is live. That's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Let's go. One step closer.
Yes. Baby. Yes. See, I did not interrupt Axis. I did not do it. He saw it. That was not me. I did not private chat him or anything.
Well, I figured he saw it. He has the chat up right next to his screen. I'm like, he's got to see it.
Oh, once you started moving the chat fast like that, I was like, okay, something weird's going on.
No, chat's like, interrupt him. He doesn't mind. I'm like, no, like it doesn't. It doesn't have any effect on anything if I interrupt him right now.
Well, I appreciate that, but
I don't.
It's probably worth it. I don't know. What the hell?
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So I guess everybody put your targets. Where's Hex price going to go in the next 24 hours? Are we going to go to 14 cents? Are we going to go to 16 cents? Are we going to go to 20 cents?
I'm such a bear, dude. Oh my God. It's at 12.
Well, I think we can actually go to 12 right away. So it'll be interesting to see.
let's see how Hedron and Icosa reacts too. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they're
one
looking
step
good.
closer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
this is good on
that's-
the on
Yeah.
the Icosa, man. This is like playing with that 618. It's a straight shot to buck 15 after that. And now again, like I was looking at the liquidity before on Icosa. You're in the clear zone here. There's not much liquidity out here. We're talking like 50 grand to get all the way up to $2. That's pretty insane. Maybe there's some sellers on the way. So like on the chart, that would translate to, damn, all the way up to here. So you could see somebody come in and market buy the price up 100% with somebody who wants to take a rip. And then as far as Hedron, you have a similar situation where there's just no liquidity out here at all. Oh, yeah, this is the right pair. So why is this one reversed? See, this is going, oh no, this is right. I'm sorry. This is right. So let's see, these are $5,000 bars roughly. So these are like $3,000 bars. There's maybe, what is this, like maybe like 70 grand, 70, 89, something like that.
Yeah, it's looking good. I'm very impressed with the Icosa performance. I think a lot of it has to do with like 90% of it's like staked.
1111. We caught it live. 1114.
Let's go.
My tweet earlier was.
I just almost missed it. I got the 4 ones on mine too. I didn't get the screenshot.
What's 1111 when we're on our way to 5555?
I saw that.
Yes, let's go.
Not financial advice.
However, 55 cents. That's $55, baby.
Oh wow! No, that's $5,555. Cha-ching!
It's live. Crypto Coffee in the chat.
What's up, Coffee?
It's live.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
It's like Coffee. We heard. It's been a very tense last few minutes. I was like, listen to Axis, and chat's like, shut up and interrupt him, and I'm like, no, I can't. And then, yes, you just topped it off, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and that was our official notice that PulseChain can be any moment.
At the beginning of the stream, I said it could be any moment, and wow, crystal ball in this brain, right? Crystal ball.
What better time than when we're live, right? I love it.
With RHMax of all streamers.
The chances are pretty high when we're always streaming.
when you're streaming 24/7, go on the Pulse tube. There's always a stream going on. Somebody was going to be live during it.
Dinosaur Coin is still lagging behind, guys.
I think I streamed every day last week, and now I've signed up to stream every day this week. So yes, chances are high we catch live news while we're streaming. Yes.
Sick. Yeah, let's roll with it. I kind of wanted to bring up the Hex versus Bitcoin pair just because I want to see what that looks like. I actually had this targeted out. Let's see if we can finally close this gap here. This is a pennant. The way that you draw this out is you take the pull, the measure of the pull, and then you combine, and then you put it out on that where the breakout level is. And so I had this. I was targeting 58,000. I don't know. Let's see, 58,000 satoshis. No, that's not that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this is 584 satoshis, I believe. So right now we're currently trading at 389 satoshis. And if we could get our rip here, we get like a 48% move. We're going to complete that target. So this is going back to. It's been a month. It's been 32 days since I made this, and there's a tweet out there. So we'll see. Let's get up there. Let's get the price up there, and like the ultimate goal here is to go take out our high against Bitcoin. If we do get up here on this kind of news, we're looking at 30 cent hex. So
I like that.
Not bad.
We're about to get a bunch of bullish engulfing candles on the 4 hour. I'm just looking at it right now. It's all across the whole board.
It's looking good, man. That's a pretty big print on the 15-minute here.
Wow, it keeps going. It's going up. That big green candle pointed towards the sky.
Congratulations to RH for all the hard work and stress he's had to deal with.
Yes.
I'm sure it's not been easy 2 years for him trying to get this thing out.
Nope, not at all. I don't envy him in any which way.
Nope.
Shout out to the man of men. He is the alpha of alpha. Yes, sir.
Yo, we could clear some of this dead air up with this whole Eric Wall selling 11 cents today.
Yeah.
Whether he was trolling or not, we actually had one of our greats go in and do some chain analysis on what was going on chain during that time frame. And if Eric Wall was the big bag that sold today, he sold like 300 grand maybe. So we had somebody went out and made a public tweeter. I don't know if he wants me to name him, but he's going out and saying, you're a broke pleb, Eric, if all you did was sell 300 grand a hex. And now you're underwater because we're back.
I wonder if Richard Hart timed it just for when he dumped.
Oh,
like he saw that he dumped and he's like, all right, time to go. It's just to fuck with him.
It's possible that Eric Wall fudded it and then he knew ahead of time, like, oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible. But they do like to talk. But yeah.
He plays a pretty good heel. I'll give him that.
Resident chain analysis over the Antidote has us covered. So
Yep. Oh man, that's exciting, man.
I'm good.
One step closer, baby.
Yeah, mine's very distracted right now. Just, wow, that candle just keeps going, huh?
yeah, I mean, if like seriously, if you got to go, you know, get your testing in, like I would totally understand. I'm not trying to hold you back.
Yeah. Well, I think the next is going to be interesting to see all the different like dApps and projects that are launching on Pulse, seeing how if there's any changes on their functionality from V2B to V3. You know, when they deploy all their code on the new testnet, that's going to be interesting to see. And a good metric probably for how close we are to the middle of the mainnet launch.
I was hoping our Richard Hart tweet would pop up, so I could just pull up the chain quick, and like we could play around with it. App.v3.testnet.
Hongdog has a.
Wait, am I gonna dox my shit if I go there? Probably.
If your MetaMask is locked and you're not,
damn.
Yeah.
11.5 cents. That was fast.
Wow. Yeah, testnet validators. I want to see the documentation for the validators. I've been working on that, doing a bunch of ETH validators, testnet stuff. So I'm excited to get to see what the official documentation is and start maybe making some content around that if I continue that journey.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to see more on that front. Just anything that you can, you know, help us with before the launch, you know.
Yeah, that'd be once Alex launches his like plug and play validator stuff. That'd be a good breakdown for you to do for everybody.
Oh man, I want to do an unboxing of that one. That'll be. I want.
Unboxing.
Dude, we should just start like a skinning factory. We'll just skin everyone's miners and their validators and send it to them.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
I'm also interested to see what data stuff he pops out with the data center he's building for PulseChain. You know, if his subgraph that he built for Hedron and stuff is any indication of what he's going to have. People like me, people like Crispy, Def Huey, we're going to have a field day with all the data he's going to make accessible to us.
She's doing Infura, right? He's kind of doing an Infura.
Yep.
Yeah.
Infura service for PulseChain, so we'll have an API to connect. You know,
Yep.
Me and you dove into that a couple months ago, how to connect to the blockchain with APIs. We did that together.
Man, yeah. Shout out to Dipcatcher. He was super helpful getting both of us running on Anvil and just how to talk to the blockchain stuff. So that was super cool. Like I have a coding background, been in tech forever, but it's like some of the crypto blockchain stuff. It's like, you know, it gets easier for me to kind of get into it because I have a lot of the background in that area. But a lot of it's just like super specific knowledge. You have to go learn. Like it's great if you have building blocks already, but you have to go learn this stuff if you want to actually like go do it. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Teach us the way.
I hope so. I want to do it.
That's 30,000 levels cleared.
I'll try to get to Gamma and Feeder. Go ahead.
Oh, you saying the 3,000 levels cleared for Hedron? Let's go.
30,000.
I'm trying to look. I think it's like clear skies for Hedron until like almost 4,000.
Yeah, like this is the. I mean, the edge of the bands I think is up here roughly, which would make sense, right? Because that's kind of the new range that we're going to set here. I could see us going up here and playing with this a little bit.
Dude, it's going to be epic when we like finally like break above where it's double topped already and back tested as support. Like,
yeah.
It's gonna be wild. Like when like real price discovery happens on this asset. I can't wrap my head around it sometimes.
It's definitely there's a lot of good volume, like just green volume weeks after week right now. Like it doesn't take much. Like I think the price is up off the bottom. It's up 72%. Was that $1 million, $600, 600,000, 700,000, 900,000 traded. All right, so it could be like split 50-50 buyers and sellers, but in the favor of the buyers.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Like there's opportunities here too. Of course, I'm gonna be a freaking Maxi here and just say I'm a Hex Maxi.
Yeah, don't be a dirty shitcoiner like me, guys. Listen to Axis.
Don't go
Hey,
that far. I think you're a bit of a. I think you're playing on all the puddles.
real quick, can we? I can throw up on the screen
Sure.
V3.
Yeah.
And then we'll come
Do
back
it.
to TA in just a minute because chat's like,
Okay.
just show us V3, show us V3.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, I want to actually. I would like to do that.
It's
So
time.
I'll do it. It's time. And then we'll come back to it because we got some really cool TA stuff to talk about. But oh my God, when Testnet V3 launches in your live, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we kind of gotta show the way. You know, it's just how it goes.
Yeah. You were proud of yourself, aren't you, Max? You're pretty proud of yourself right now.
All my work and dedication has led up to this moment.
Well, you know, RH wasn't gonna not launch it now. Obviously, RHMax channel.
There you go. He did it. He knew I was streaming.
That's what
That's what you're
obviously
saying. He knew it.
Well, yeah, he's following. Obviously,
He follows you, man, right?
I'm not signed in here, but yeah, he does follow me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he follows you.
Yeah.
Follows you. He replies to your tweets. He's giving you shout outs. You deserve it, man.
He retweeted me on the one that one time on Aubrey the Gray longevity podcast.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
I mean, you fucking guys were on the phone for 2 hours yesterday, and I was trying to call.
Who, me?
Yeah, you and RH were on the phone all day yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was
trying
like,
to plan this shit out. My God.
kept texting me and I'm like, man, look, me and Dad need to talk. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. He's going to be launching tomorrow.
Me and Dad, he says.
So let's run through it tab by tab and see kind of what we got going on.
I'm trying to like stay centered here. It's just wow, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
with proof of stake, baby, deposit, the terminal, uptime. Wow, bad behavior.
This is good.
this is what he was talking about as far as documentation and validator setup, I think. So, dude, yes, there's an ETH 2.0 portal, what do you call it, Launchpad. And this looks like the Launchpad for PulseChain and Testnet. So you basically go through these, make the deposit, do the confirmation. I did all this stuff with Testnet on ETH before, and it's messy as crap. I use a Guerrero testnet. It's a mess. But so like seriously, we got with PulseChain, if we just get the documentation correct, I know ETH 2.0 threw the Ethereum people a bunch of wrenches and they got stuff figured out. It'll be better in the future. And we got a chance for PulseChain to really get the validator stuff and nodes like super concise and just easy, because it's not so easy on testnet for Ethereum right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that clients.
And we did hit 12.22 cents already, by the way. So I called it. Let's go.
Anybody buying Hex right
Put
now?
that crystal ball away, Axis. Put the crystal ball away. It's not fair.
What does this do when you? There's a launch pad for.
What are the generally the penalties for like dropping connection or like messing up if you get a block? Do you know off the top of your head?
So the slashing, I don't. I was doing testnet stuff with Ethereum, and it really wasn't that bad. You got to really start messing up and not be online for a while before they start slashing you. At least on the the testing I was doing on the testnet. I don't know top of my head the penalties, but it's in your best interest to keep things online and to keep the machine running. But I don't think it's
that's like my main hesitancy on like being a validator. It's like actual work. Like you gotta keep up with stuff and make sure you're not going down. So that's why I'm excited about Alex's thing. If it like makes it like super easy, plug and play, forget about it, like then becoming a validator becomes no question about it. You're just even not from a profit standpoint, just like helping the network out, being a participant in it, I think has its own merit in of itself.
Everyone, I just want to say, share the link. If anyone wants to know and see the first look of, I assume we're the only ones right now live showing this. Maybe there's others, but we're going to be going through this because you're getting validator specifics. We're talking about like 1 terabyte for all this for the hard drive stuff. First look. So,
yeah. Live.
PulseTube just went down because there's so many people that they had to aggregate, and this is amazing. This is really good documentation. So way better than, again, what I've seen with the ETH testnet stuff. This is like, wow, you do these things and it works. And I've already got a bunch of documentation from the ETH stuff that I will probably be porting over to the PulseChain testnet, and even some setup scripts. Although they may already have some good setup scripts here, but I was trying to like get my ducks in a row to prepare for all this. And now that it's finally here, oh my gosh. Just looking at the execution clients, you can choose the consensus clients. Man, this is really good documentation. Bravo to the dev team for the Pulse. Pulse.
I was going to say
change
this
dev
is the kind of user experience you get when you have someone like Richard Hart overseeing a bunch of technically sound people. Like the vertical integration and the approach is just completely unheard of in blockchain. It's you had too many forward-thinking technical people trying to create the innovative technology, but now you have someone like RH coming along as a user and being like, hey, we need this to be simplified and easier for regular people to figure out. And this is the edge that PulseChain has over every other blockchain.
Yeah. If one thing Richard's good at, it's like knowing how to present things for people to understand them, or marketing, essentially marketing. And that's probably stemmed from like, his early days in like internet advertisement and like the internet, internet ad stuff. Like, how do I present something to somebody that entices them to want to use it, right? And we're getting all of that knowledge and experience thrown into this blockchain.
So off back to your question too, I just read here, if validated effective balance is below the 32 million, you won't be earning full staker rewards. So that could be some of the penalties may play into that.
At least that much.
Drops below 16. Well,
16.
Geez, I hope so. At that point, you've been not, I won't say slashed anymore, murdered. So
decapitated.
Yeah, geez, 16. Where's the 10,000x on that one? Wow, this is amazing. So this PulseChain, become validator, learn about staking, more stats.
Hey,
this is the Beacon Explorer that we've been looking at. So this is a fork of what is it called? It's like Beacon chain info. I'm almost afraid to type it in. It won't be the right one. Let's see, Google. Beacon. Dang, what is the chain info? It's like something.info. There we go, beacon.cha.n. So this is something I called out a while back, looking at his preview pictures of the Block Explorer or the Beacon Explorer and stuff. So yeah, this is a fork of this one, I'm pretty sure. So very interesting. This is where you can see stats on validators and blocks and different stuff. Wow.
Hey, check go to PulseX. See what the staking on there looks like right now. I'm curious.
Let's see. Did I have PulseX here? Yeah. Here we go.
Do you have the staking stuff yet?
Let's see. Earn and then farms. So here are the farms.
Is it the liquidity pools?
Yeah. Oh, it is. Did I see? Yeah. PulseX pulls.
Yeah. You probably have to connect to view, huh?
I don't know if maybe there's just nobody set a pull up yet because we're so early. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably. I was just curious. Thanks, man.
Yeah. No, if you guys tell me whatever you want to see because I'm just kind of clicking around. Just wow, liquidity. Yeah. So you got to connect to wallet for some things. This is just seeing this. I'm like, again, I'm in shock. I'm in awe right now.
Well, we needed the step before we could seriously look forward to mainnet, right? Like you couldn't. How do I want to say this? It's like you couldn't be excited about mainnet until the testnet went live. Like it was impossible for mainnet to come out until this came out. So this was like a necessary benchmark that we needed to reach before we could like seriously get PulseChain out. And now that it's actually out, we're using it. We know it's happening. We know that they've been doing all this work and it's come to fruition in a usable way. Like, PulseChain has become that much more real. And, the world's going to change when PulseChain launches. The entire scope by which we analyze the markets, the amount of attention that we're able to give to each individual thing is going to be completely different. Like it's a whole new epoch, a whole new paradigm that's going to exist. People are going to be talking about these moments, later on, like they talk about like big payday, like they talk about the adoption amplifier. It's going to be, the 4 more weeks joke again, the 2 more months joke for PulseChain launch, and people can be like, wow, you were so lucky to even be in there during those times. And we're at the very precipice of the end of that epoch before the whole landscape changes, and probably in a good way, probably in a way that favors our bags and favors crypto as a whole, because this ecosystem is being built from proper first principles with the right foundation to actually do well and succeed for the most amount of people.
Yeah, it's just the last couple of years. I mean, I would say the last year has been the kind of like suppression of it. You know, it's coming, it's exciting. We don't know when it's going to be here. And then I think eventually, at least for me, I just kind of like, I don't want to think about it anymore because I don't want to get my hopes up. You know, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed. So for this to actually launch, I mean, you know, this isn't mainnet, this is testnet. So like everyone level themselves with that. But this, if there's no critical bugs, and you know, we don't know the timeline for mainnet. I've said it's, you know, probably going to be a couple months or so. That seems like a reasonable amount of time if there's no critical bugs found, if everything goes well, to give, you know, the projects and everyone who's launching on it time to play with it, and devs themselves to make sure things are good to go. Could be more, could be less. I mean, ETH 2.0 versus BSC, how long the testing needs to happen. We've already seen ETH 2.0 out for a while. So that plays a factor into the timeline and what we can expect to. Hopefully PulseX doesn't have any issues and stuff running. The devs are going to have all the information they need, but just seeing this is just, again, kind of just gets me out of the pushing it out forever and into the, it's happening, folks. It's happening.
It's actually 2 months away.
Jeez, I hope we do mid-May, just cherry on top. Let's do
just
it.
For
he
fun.
meant
Just
he
for
meant
the
2023,
memes,
didn't
for
he?
the memes.
I mean, he's a funny guy. He says he's fat and old, but rich and funny. So maybe he wants to do a spin on mid-May. You never know.
Yeah.
I think mid-May. I wouldn't want it to launch next week. I mean, of course, the little kid inside of me is like, oh no, we'll launch as soon as we can. But like the adult person who wants this product to succeed, and the developer, you know, the type of mindset is like, we need time to test this stuff. So we need 1 month, 2 month, in my opinion. So that's if you waited this long, you can wait a little bit longer. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Oh, if you're muted, Axis, if you're trying to say something.
Yeah, I was just saying that Hex is about to cross 12 cents and probably hold it as support here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back to.
Oh no, I want to keep seeing. Well, we want to see the. I'll just get the price chart up there. That's good. With that, I want to see
just randomly yell numbers at the price as we're talking.
14, 15,
like an auction house.
Access, just every couple minutes, you just tell us the current Hex price, and that'll be good, sir.
That's my kind of money right there.
That's why you're here. Just
whoa! A thing came up. A new thing came up. $3. Whoa.
That's Pulse to PulseX. The ratio.
Yeah.
So
Sorry. The ratio 3.32.
Yeah. I'm curious to see, you know, Pulse to Hex. I just got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Can I do that?
If you click on the by swap on the right side, switch PulseX drop down to.
You want to see this one?
Yep.
To Pulse.
To Pulse.
To Pulse. To Pulse.
Let's see what they do to the chart. 13 to 1. Okay. So 13 Hex for every Pulse. Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Or is it 13 Pulse for every Hex?
13 Hex.
Pulse. Flip it the other way next to basic. Oh yeah, that way too.
1 Pulse per Hex.
Either way.
Yeah. So that ratio is it's key information, you guys. Is kind of what you could expect going out the gate. That's actually very surprising to me. How discounted Pulse Hex might be on the launch day of the actual mainnet.
Yeah, I mean, if you can multiply your, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. But if like you can multiply your Hex bags by a significant amount by only giving up a little bit of your Pulse bags, like that seems like a no-brainer. Like if you could turn, say you have 10,000 Hex and you can turn it to 100,000 by only giving like 5-10% of your Pulse bag, like it just seems like a no-brainer trade, at least in my opinion.
Chat has doubled in the last 15 minutes, and just scrolling down. Sorry, I'm not gonna get to. Yeah, that just. So these incentive token. So we got the incentive token here too.
Happy early birthday, Uncle Will. That's cool. He turns 62 tomorrow, so you got Testnet for his birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Uncle Will. Yeah, appreciate it. You've been coming for a while too, so good to see you.
Well deserved.
Let's
Damn.
see. Anything else? I mean, these are testnet values, right? Like how much can we read into? I mean,
I think you should read into it. I think you should see the base. Well, so our assumptions were right, 3-1, as far as like pulse to PulseX. So that makes sense to me. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's the Hex one that really kind of threw me off. I do think that it'll probably launch at a similar ratio because what the AMM bot's doing is it's harvesting at the correct ratios so that so that coins aren't diluted. And so it's just giving you a base ratio. So that is actually super important for people to know.
Type in 1 hex on there. I just want to see. Just one. So 1 hex gets you 0.8 pulse.
And these things are volatile right now, so it's.
Oh yeah.
That's probably why that changed, right? Or no, could flip it the other way once. So the hex is on top. Yeah. Okay. So look at how it's come down from 13 now to 9.87. So that ratio game is going to be very, very risky because it wasn't at 13 just a minute ago, and now it's 9.8. So you would have lost potentially 20% of your bag if you would have tried to ratio trade in the wrong direction right there.
Mm-hmm. And this is what it's going to be like. There are not going to be any dollar values or anything at the beginning. So you got to make sure you know which way you're trading when it does it. If you have any question in your mind what you're doing, just don't do it. Just chill.
Correct.
So 1
future
hex
trading is going to be the Wild West. Wow. You can see. This is old stuff. It's 24 hours old.
What was that? 2005?
Yeah, I know. Launchpad Block Explorer. Let's check that out for a sec too. Wow. So that whoever posted, I think was that Funding Jim that posted the DNS entries. Somebody was looking at those. I didn't even think to even check that. But
Yeah, that's what I saw first. That when people were first saying it, that's the screen that I pulled up first.
Dude, I could have literally wrote a script to like monitor that and alert me as soon as anything changed with anything regarding PulseChain. I didn't even occur to me to do that, but I could have wrote that code and I could have been first to know.
Want to know something funny? Alex got the front end up on Icosa for Hex before the official Hex site. He's already got it going. If you want to interact with your Hex stuff, you go on the Icosa app, and it already has PulseChain supported apparently.
Wow, dude, beast, that man. There's people in this ecosystem that are just. There's nothing else like it. I mean, there's no who. Show me something better, people. Show me something better. It's like all the things we've been saying forever are like they're coming true. They're manifesting, right? Like it's amazing.
Yeah. Anybody that missed the original run up on Hex for the 10,000X, you guys are about to get to feel the confidence that a lot of us guys that were in from the beginning of Hex feel like, and we felt for the whole bear market. There's a reason why I'm able to get up here in front of a camera and speak so confidently about this ecosystem, and it's because you're backed by a community that actually cares, and it's not just pump chasers. That's gonna, their end game isn't just to make a 2 or a 5x. We're all looking for that 10,000x, and so because of that, we're aligned and we're in the investment for the long term, and that's why you get these kinds of moves in prices because the code is so good, right? And yeah, so it just feels really good to be part of something that's really going to rug pull the rest of the legacy crypto. Now you went from legacy finance to cryptocurrency, and now you have cryptocurrency of new and cryptocurrency goals. You have legacy cryptocurrency now, which is like the old blue chips, and it's all moving toward this new DeFi future. And that's what's so exciting is that it's a movement, right? Hex is a movement.
Yep. We're at the forefront of that movement too, the cutting edge of it. And we still got edge because everyone still thinks we're a scam. That's the edge.
Just ask Sami.
He'll tell you right. He'll tell you all about the edge. Oh man. Yeah. What else you got for us, Max?
Words are escaping me, gentlemen. I'm
You know what this
I'm the
reminds me
stoic guy, right? I'm the stoic guy. I'm the guy that keeps it together.
You remind me right now of when I was like 7 or 8 years old, standing in line at Walmart at 5 in the morning, waiting for my Nintendo GameCube launch
Yeah,
night.
that's
That's
exactly
like you right now. It's like you're like literally like so you're like amped up. It's all excited.
That's awesome.
Bro, I'm so fucking happy for you, bro. Like I don't feel any which way about this like that. And I'm so happy that you can be. And there's so many people in the community that are loving this shit right now. And I'm just like, it feels good to be a part of something like this because it's easy to forget.
100%.
You can
It's
feel
nice
it
to be
too,
excited
Axis.
about things.
Just we can virtually hold hands together and dance in a circle and talk about game cubes and
Ancient
yeah.
time, man. Yeah, man, this is awesome. This is DeFi. This is the future.
Yeah.
Just good stuff. Just Brendan says, just cry, bro. You only know you want to. I'm not that excited, but I'm yeah, if I wasn't on the stream right now, I'd probably be just like zoned in on the computer, just
10-5 sack wallet.
Where's my fucking sack wallet? Well, I mean, yeah, I'll need that to do some validating, I guess. So I've got some work to do there.
I'll buy it.
Using the protocol.
Hey, that'd be a good idea for the Washington meetup. Just everybody do Smash on the GameCubes together.
Sorry, I need to read these comments before I post them half the time. But
Did you just throw it up?
I did. I didn't know what that word was for a moment, and I just did it because I thought it was another nice comment. Which it is funny. It is funny, but I gotta watch the comments. Anyways, I feel like we went through, Block Explorer, went through the onboarding for PulseChain validation, the Beacon Explorer here, and then PulseX. This is, I mean, how much media and content is going to be created through these portals in the next coming weeks. It's all the tutorials coming out. Everyone's finally believing this stuff's happening and it's live, and it's about to get crazy up in this ecosystem. Good stuff. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing, and we're gonna get centered. We're gonna get centered, and we're gonna get real again. And Axis is gonna tell us when and how we're gonna get rich. Go.
No small task.
Yes.
If I had to give you a year, I would say 2026 is looking to be a pretty good year. But there's a lot of stuff that can happen between now and then. And so all you have to do is accumulate. This is the year of accumulation. And you don't have to, offload your whole nut at the end of the year. You probably want to do it now if you're going to do it. Because once we flip 10 cents of support on Hex, which we might have just done, come back and test it maybe. No guarantees. There's too much hype going into this. So, man, it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah, we're anybody that got in could see 100x return across these assets. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that makes you rich, but it gives you something to work with.
Well, you don't get those gains anywhere else, man. 100x is crazy talk anywhere else.
Oh, good point, Steven. Let's settle down on this. Fed meeting today or tomorrow, I guess. What are we worried? Yield, fireworks, chainsaws, tasers. What are you thinking on that?
They raised it by 25 points, right? 25 basis points. I think that's what happened, right?
Oh, okay, that happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened today. So I think, like Steven's saying, he wanted to see how the market reacted to the FOMOC meeting, and he's saying that's chess moves. It was smart to wait till afterwards to see how the market reacted, and then he launched it.
Gotcha.
Silver Antidote actually says he has some important stuff coming in from the chain. I don't know if you wanted to try to bring him on to get his take.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know how. Do I have him on? I don't know if I'm on Twitter or just you can send the screen link if you want.
I'll send it to him too.
If you love your fellow ecosystem person, you know which stream. I don't know who else is streaming right now, but We got a good show today. We got a good show. We're not done yet. So
Yeah, I sent him a link. I don't know if you did too, Axis, but I sent him one.
Sounds good. Yep, I'm bouncing back between, was looking at the chain, like before we shut down your screen share, I noticed that Hex Pulse ratio was already down to 7 something. So it's pretty amazing. That ratio trade, you'd be up 50% more if you traded into Hex, right?
Mhm.
And you would be down 50% if you traded out of Hex into Pulse. So that's just really interesting right now that that's happening on the testnet. If it plays out the same in real time, you know, that's some freaking alpha right there, right? If it plays out the same way.
100%.
Looks like Hex keeps getting sold down. We'll see if it can pop its head back up above 12 cents here.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. It keeps getting wicked down. Let me see what the 15 looks like. Yeah. Maybe Eric Walden saw all his bag.
I think he's been a secret Hexagon for a while, and he probably bought it really cheap and is holding on to it. And he just wants to troll sometimes by selling it. All these influencers, they keep saying, seeing all their sponsorships and DeFi, just fake DeFi failing. So it's inevitable they come to true products where they can actually make money and not get everyone wrecked. So we welcome bigger, better ecosystem stuff that we can give you.
I'm gonna go hit the bathroom quick. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Dogs are waking up. We still continue. Yes, we do continue, at least for another, probably a half hour or so. And then until I hear a knock at the door, continue.
That's when you time your streams.
Meatloaf, Mom.
when your wife calls you for dinner.
You know, family first.
Yeah, that's why you wait for 3 knocks.
I dare hear a 4th knock. There, a 4th knock. I may be streaming every day.
Oh, yeah. Connor has a question for me. Said he mentioned something. But nothing right now from Alex. Like there's nothing official that he's building on it. He was floating around the idea. If you go into the Icosa chat, look into the pinned tweets of like building kind of on communists actually as a way to like kind of incentivize burning of the token or minting of it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but a way to kind of make communists and HSI synergistic with each other. That's the only like official stuff that he's mentioned, but nothing specifically about Icosa right now.
How dare you? It's communists.
It's communist.
It is actually properly communist. I heard the guy behind it talk and clear up the misconception. But I was watching Coffee's video today, and he was it was funny. He kept saying communist, and a lot of people say communist, and it's kind of like communist. Everybody knows what you mean when you say it, but it's funny.
I say it differently like every time.
It's like Hedron, Herodron.
Yeah, I used to say Hedron. I said Hedron at the beginning.
I used to say, "Hey, chest eyes." What's up,
He's back.
I'm back.
Why aren't the puppies happy?
Yeah, no kidding, right? No, I really didn't.
Someone showed up and the puppies are not happy.
I should probably slow down on the coffee intake.
Coffee, Jesus, man! You're trying to get wired.
Got to do something, man. I got
any news on the wallet.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yo, we have no news on incentive token still. Not a peep about the incentive token.
We saw it like on PulseX, but that's the most information we have. It exists and it will exist. That's all we know. We're waiting on Silver to do the TA, or should we? What do you guys want to do?
Drop the link.
I told him to join up. He might come.
Mm-hmm.
We can just hang with it.
Did I say influencers say the stupidest? I don't think that was a direct quote, but just this stream just got converted to 24 hours. I actually have plans this evening, so I maybe not 24, maybe like an hour 40, hour 50, but we'll see. If we're going in the same directions, there's fucking Axis is telling us like the secret's to life or something, then yeah, we'll go. We'll keep going. You never know when that's going to happen. But yeah, what do you guys want to go into? You want to go to the TA? You want to talk about the TA stuff? That's on the agenda, but like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I can pull up some more TA action. I don't know if that's something that sounds like fun to the crew. I know like all my Telegram chats are absolutely going bananas right now.
I mean, everybody in the chat just wants you to tell them how they're going to get rich, when they're going to get rich, which token to buy, how much Hex is going to go up. They want to see more
easy. Just buy them all. Buy them all, dude. That's all you got to do is just buy everything. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't want to buy everything.
What if they buy?
Cheap to the moon, right? No.
There's some Dogcoin people in the chat. They're probably joking though. What if they add the wallet before mainnet, and then the highest stake comes out before mainnet? I don't think anything's going to jeopardize mainnet or delay it. I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
So
I will say that this newest development that I'm seeing right now is kind of edgy. We have seen a huge amount of the liquidity pulled out of the pools in anticipation of potential mainnet. And so we're actually sitting in some very low liquidity zones right now. Like we're talking like extremely low, like a lot has been pulled. So maybe I can pull that up quick.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right, dude.
That's what's causing a lot of the volatility. But this is where, you know, if some big player comes in and just starts market buying like crazy, like the price could go up. Or if some guy wants to come in and dump away, then reaccumulation bands are between 10 and 8.5.
Because we had some good support. Like I'm just looking through my old stuff that I was posting for the liquidity charts. We had some good sell side on the 1% pair. It's gone now. That's all gone. Let's see is the die pool still?
1 second, I'm pulling up the 1% USDC pool, and I'm pulling up the ETH pool. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, so there's nothing in front of price right now on 1% ETH pool.
Yep.
And then, yeah, nothing in front of here either. So, yeah, I mean, we could really see, you know, the prices in no man's land effectively. You can see here on the 3.3% pool, it's also sitting in like, this is like $8,000 per bar. So, you know, and I was seeing today when the volume was coming in, these were like $10,000 buys and stuff coming in. So they alone, if there's 20 guys with $10,000, you get the price to 14 cents.
Yep.
I mean, you can see here that we're basically in free fall, but it's to the upside. So you're in anti-gravity right now because there's so much demand. If I pull up these pools, look at how oh my gosh, against Ethereum right now, Hex is dominating. It's about to hit the 3618. And the way that you get this is you go the bottom, wick bottom, to the second double bottom. And then here's your peak. These 3 data points gives you this entire trajectory. And so we're actually about to hit we have tapped the 3618 or just short of it. So, I mean, this would be like that's a technical level right here. The only other coin that I've seen hit the 3618 recently was actually Texan token. Believe it or not.
Yeah, speak about a token that's had some success lately. Congratulations to Rags and Hexray and Heartbeat for the mega pump that they had on Texan.
Yeah, dude, I can pull that up in a second too. But check this out: 1,568 buys to 756 sales, $10.5 million in volume in the last 24 hours. To the upside, 9.4 million to the downside. Insane. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Hex is destroying Ethereum. Hex is almost against Bitcoin. Remember, here's my target: 580 satoshis. Let's get there, guys. We could do this. And actually, it's funny because this actually goes all wrong line. This is basically your PulseX SAC levels, roughly, right? So that's pretty cool. Like even though the price is only at 12 cents in Bitcoin terms, because Bitcoin's down off 60K, you're actually closer to, you know, this 580 sats is. Remember when I was saying this earlier in the stream, we were at 380 sats. We're already at 434 sats. And now Hex price is at 12 cents on the USDC pair. So because of the disparity of Bitcoin dropping, meanwhile Hex is rocketing, it's actually gaining faster in percent terms. See here, Bitcoin's not really, it's just paused. Bitcoin's kind of stalling out here. What's Ethereum doing? Kind of paused as well. So yeah, Hex is looking very, very good against Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look at against Ethereum. You guys want to see something bananas? Like this is what Ethereum did to Bitcoin in yellow over 2.5 years through the bull market, and Hex has done this to Ethereum in 70 days. I think it was 60 days. Yeah, so we've already exceeded. We're about to exceed what Ethereum did to Bitcoin in multiple years, and that's a function of it being so cheap and percent and actual sense, right?
Yeah, and probably the liquidity too. Lower liquidity.
Yep, and it's all on-chain traded, so you can't fudge the numbers.
Yep. Be back at 12, baby.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. So against Ethereum, you're almost at the PulseX SAC phase levels in terms of Ethereum. Here's your line. If I put the line down 1 sec. So this is PulseChain sacrifice. This is PulseX sacrifice. The dollar denominated terms, this was 21 cents. This was 36 cents. But yet it was the same level against Ethereum because they move, kind of differently, right? They cross pairs run differently, right? This is true ratio trading. This is what that looks like. So we're almost at those levels where, the sacrifice phases. And that makes sense, right? Because we have testnet. So that'd be a key level to watch here moving forward.
Yep. I like the slope of that green line, man. I like the slope of that line.
This one, you mean straight up?
It's 90 degrees, basically.
Yeah. Let's see if I pull up the Hex USDC here. We'll pull up the dip catcher algorithm. Shout out to our boy dip catcher.
Shout out to dip catcher.
If you're watching right now, brother, we're going to pull up and use your tool. So this is a tool you can get at dipcatcher.pro. And it's kind of showing you how violent this move is right now. You're squeezing up into the bands. So you're above the dip catcher's highest red band right now. So this is an anomalous time, right? And so the only time you get clean bounces off the orange and yellow bands and you go higher is in bull markets. So if I go back in time, you can see here that Hex bounced off the orange and yellow bands here, 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 and then it was a bull market, and we started to squeeze the red line up. And we actually held the red line, came back to test orange, held the red line, test orange, till we got to our top. So modern time here, we're finally doing, we've kicked off the bull run officially, guys. So something to think about that way.
Wow, that's big, man.
Let's pull up the liquidity pool. So this is what we're looking like for liquidity. There's nothing between where we're at now and 17 cents. So it's going to take just very little money to get the price to go from 12 cents to 17 cents or back down. Maybe somebody wants to jump in here and dump all their coin, and then you get protected at 10 cents. This is where most of the range is right now. This is probably from this morning because this has to be manually updated. I just forgot. So, but yeah, we have to actually look at this again. We'll refresh again and see kind of where we're at.
Yeah, so that one person putting it at 50 cents just breaks the whole chart.
Oh yeah, some wise ass put freaking 6 million hex out here at 50 cents. So just to shrink down the whole chart. It's like, okay, cool. That's real cool, bro. So yeah, if you look at it like on a small, look at, this is what we're seeing. This is 10.5 cents on this edge of the band. So if some seller wants to come in and liquidate, you're going to probably catch support in here between 9 and 10.5 cents, just like we did this morning. And it goes down as far as 8.5 cents. But if you zoom out and you look at the thick of it, looks like it doesn't look as so severe, right? Because you have bands, a lot of liquidity out here at 19 to basically 17 to 20 cents. So kind of some cross correlations. Yeah, there's definitely somebody coming in and trying to offload here at this 12-cent region. So if you're bullish on Hex and you're a big buyer, this might be well-needed liquidity. There's these guys that are liquidating. Then you just come in and just scoop their coins up on the dip.
And hey, they're liquidating now. They can't liquidate on Pulse.
Correct.
Well, what is the case for selling Hex at 12 cents, for example? You said you expect it. Is that just because you anticipate that to happen and to go back down a little bit, take a breather, and then buy it back up to the price. Is that like what the traders are thinking?
Are you talking about before Pulse goes live or after?
I mean, just the run up we're having right now, whatever it may get sold back down to, or maybe it just doesn't get sold back down to. I guess it's an assumption.
Right, because look at how dominant, look at how much that this is called a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour. And I don't know what time this closes. It's probably just started this candle. Let's see, a 2-hour. Okay, so so basically, if this candle closes above, let's say, 10.9 cents, roughly 10.9 cents, it'll be a bullish engulfing candle, and you could expect this. It's a continuation candle. You saw one of these here too, where you'll start to get this kind of action where people come in and accumulate the dip, kind of, where it'll be like smaller and choppier, something like this, because it's going to be really volatile now that all that liquidity got pulled. But yeah, I mean, this is like a unique moment where like people don't know when the full snapshot's going to occur. So like it's basically a mad dash to scoop coins as much as you can. Remember, there's probably still people that thought we could still go to 1 cent. There's definitely some bearish bias still out there that has never left. You know, a lot of us flipped bullish after this move here when we consolidated and we had the God Whale stake end on the 14th. That was actually right. God Whale stake ended on the 14th here, and we got the sideways accumulation, and then we had a wick all the way to 8.5 cents, and that kind of marked for me the beginning of something big. And I know there was an announcement here that Testnet V3 would come shortly, and so now it's kind of one of those things where it's a mad dash to pick up coins. This is a technical bull flag. This was a technical bull flag, and then you had like the CBDC thing, and then Hex became a safe haven. And then we had these kinds of outsized returns in terms of candles. Like this candle action here, this is like good support now, right? So, you know, you're basically competing. Now it's a fight against time, and this thing it's going parabolic, right? And this is kind of why I said early on in the year that, you know, don't get left behind. And I did the blog post on the website. I was showing that, you know, if you really did get the kind of move that I was thinking, then you'd easily be able to go to 20 cents at least. So here, if we look at the, let's see, the weekly Hex chart, you know, you're playing inside of this band. So if, as far as downside targets, like if you were going to expect some big group of, let's say like 20 guys wanted to jump in here and sell before the fork, together they might be able to get price back down to like 8.5 cents before you'd start like a reaccumulation, a test, and then a successful bounce higher. And there's no liquidity up here really. The next bands of liquidity are at 17 to 24 cents roughly.
Speaking of liquidity, I just wanted to, I guess this is relevant too. Silver says big wallet should add LP to exit now.
Yeah, that's a really good. So if you are a big wallet and you want to sell back into USDC or ETH, feel free to go into the 1% pairs and just put some liquidity out in front of price, because it can easily go up with this demand. You can see this demand coming in, 1,600 buys to 700 sells. So there's demand there, you guys. Just look at the volume bars here on the bottom. Like they've only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger since the bottom on this daily chart. So that's real demand coming in. So you can sell the price chart up by going to Uniswap and going to the DApp. Uniswap.org, is it? Or I forget.
Yeah.
And then click launch app. And then all you got to really do, and if you really do want like a deep dive analysis and like understanding of strategizing around this type of stuff, just feel free to go in here and check this stuff out, right? Because it's going to be able to. We'll do that in our market making course, where we'll show you guys how to set liquidity and all that stuff. So that is coming probably next weekend. We were actually supposed to be working on that tonight after we got off this call, but here we are.
But V3 launched and all plans have come to a halt.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
So like, yeah.
No, I just want to say whenever we get done with Hex too, a lot of people have been talking about weight in the chat. So
Sure.
Maybe we can do that one next, but just whatever you want to do on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the most bullish case I see here is that any kind of attempt to sell the price down here, it just pauses price at that 12 to 14 cent range before some big account. Like if you guys don't set liquidity in here, out inside of here or out here, the price will just keep going up because the demand is there. And so maybe that's what the goal is to just, you know, let the price move up. Because enough little guys in a row does move price up. Big guys might not accumulate yet. They might wait for the sell-off, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. But yeah, so let's check out weight. It's a good point because I bet you it's going up now. Oh, it's only 5 buys to 2 sells on this pair, but it's starting to round out. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You can claim your weight soon because once PulseChain launches, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But so you
Well,
want to
actually,
claim it
but-
before it launches, right? And then
Yeah.
once it launches, you can swap it for weight V2 on PulseChain. I believe that's the.
And then you get the midnight bonus, whatever it is, when it launches too. But if you don't claim it, then you lose out.
So this is the range where I would say it's headed right now, and it's on the back of imminent mainnet, right? But if you could get some kind of demand here, get up above, retest, and go, then this is what I'm kind of seeing as some sort of like a triangle setup, potentially. And then these are your base resistance levels on the way up. You know, I don't imagine that people who claim this probably just dumped it right away. That's what the chart looks like, right? This actually looks like a giant falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. It's funny. I didn't really think about this as Mainnet, as Testnet V3 came out, that this would start to see upside, but that makes sense now.
Yep. Especially because V3 is your notification of mainnet, not like, oh, you have 3 days or whatever.
Yeah. There's only $20,000 of liquidity and only $5,000 of USDC in there, so very small, very, very small.
Looks like Silver the Antidote is here. Welcome.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, gents. So, yeah, I'll just be real quick, okay? A lot of stuff obviously happening right now. A lot of people very excited with what's going on, so that's cool. We do have a a bit of an issue going on there with the liquidity. Obviously, a bit of a surprise with a lot of it being pulled out. What we're facing now is that there are actually quite a few wallets that are interested to sell, but generally they seem to only do it during bands of liquidity. So I guess this would probably be like a public service announcement that instead of doing market sells, it's going to be very critical now that these people that generally would do that action, if they do not know how to actually support price and do LP positions, this is now a very critical time because the price literally could potentially be stuck at 12 cents. And there's like that equilibrium phase where everybody's waiting for someone to do something. And this is really where your action has to happen. So for those that are wanting to take some profit, you definitely need to start adding LP positions. And large wallets, you can ladder it. You know, like you actually just said a moment ago, there's someone all the way out there at 50 cents. There's no real definition as to what price is, because this, in a market like this, it's now price discovery. And it is a case of what is available is whatever the price is. That is completely up to the option of whoever provides. So the more volume that is put up for offer, that is generally where the price is going to go. So it's very, very critical that people actually take this seriously if you're wanting to remove anything out of the system. You can place it from 12 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. The larger, the better, because this also helps to facilitate option for people bringing in tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If there is an option for hundreds of thousands of dollars of buy with small slippage, that's going to disincentivize price action. So it comes down to the guys out there who have paper value of millions. There's actually no value to any of it until there's actually liquidity in position. Hope that kind of makes sense.
Yep.
Yes. So we need you guys that are selling, just go to uniswap.org, launch the app, and just set liquidity. Like, seriously.
Yep. It's in your benefit to do that right now.
A couple button presses. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're doing liquidity in ranges, it's kind of like effectively like limit orders, right?
Look, price is continually going up.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, if you just set some hex out in front of price and people buy it through your wall, and then you pull your liquidity, you made fees for selling your coins at a higher price. So you made money selling your coins at a higher price. It's like,
And that's
no
it.
brainer.
And when you do it, because potentially it could be lowish LP positions, as in maybe there's only 100,000 hex per bar, or maybe 200, 300, depends how much people are willing to put down. But it becomes a lot more choppy. And chop is very good for LP. And when you're in, when there's nothing available, if you're in 0.3%, you're making 0.3% on every single transaction, buy, sell. If you're doing 1% pools, you're making 1% on every transaction, buy, sell. So if you were to have 100 buys and sells of the same value, you doubled your bag. That's how it works. And because there's no one else offering it, this is very, very lucrative to those that wish to start setting some positions. I'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks a lot for having
Sounds
me
great,
on. Yeah.
man.
Cheers, RH.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, appreciate it.
Okay,
See you
bye-bye.
later, Silver. Peace.
Thanks. Very interesting question on liquidity here. If you're providing liquidity, you miss out on your hex copy, don't you? Who wants to take that one?
Kind of. You need to have access to the Uniswap contracts on the PulseChain end of things. So someone needs to build those for you to be able to exit your position. And then also you have the AMM bot, which will be harvesting liquidity, but those are only on Pulse pairs. So the main pair that you would be drained against is if you did Hex versus ETH. Or would the wrapped ETH be drained? Because it would be like, it wouldn't be, it's only Ethereum that's changing to Pulse, not wrapped ETH that's changing to Pulse, right? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
So say that again. Sorry, I was typing in the chat.
Go ahead, Axis.
So Ethereum gets changed to Pulse and diluted by like 10,000x,
Correct.
but wrapped ETH doesn't get diluted. It's just like P weight.
Correct.
So the Hex wrapped ETH pool won't get run through the AMM bot because it's not ETH, right?
Interesting.
Unless
I
they
think-
drain it with the wrapped ETH that they get the copy on.
Right. I think it's treated as ETH.
Yeah, that's the question in the code. Will it be ETH and wrapped ETH? And are there any other kind of wrapped deals that may be affected by that too?
Yeah. I would say to be safe, if you want your copies, don't provide liquidity. Just don't have that question. Just have it in your wallet, set aside on your hardware wallet. Don't touch it. And then when the fork happens, then you can provide liquidity in the places you want to provide liquidity at. Unless you're looking to exit and just want to forget about your copy completely. But yeah, I'd say to be safe, don't provide liquidity if you want your copy.
Yeah.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything more to say on Hex, or did we want to go to the next chart?
Yeah. I mean, what other charts are we looking at?
So let's see.
This one's just going parabolic. That's why I got it up.
We like parabolic charts. We had, what about Hedron? Do you want to look at Hedron? Maybe DCA if you did any look at that before?
The DCA token?
Yeah, the low float perhaps.
Yeah, that one's funny. That one actually did some pretty crazy stuff. So there's no money in here, right? There's nothing in the pool. And if you want to buy a DCA token, go to pro.dipcatcher.com dipcatcher.pro, and then you can get this. This is on discount right now. I think it goes for like roughly $85 on an ETH, but here you can get it for $74 if you get it off this market. So yeah, it's in this. There's only been very few transactions actually in the history of it, but so you can see that there's just not that many transactions going back to the 13th of March. But yeah, that's there was at one point when there was a premium on this side, and then that got arbitraged back down. So I think it's roughly 0.45 ETH per DCA right now. So what is that in USD terms? I'm not sure.
It's got to be $500 or so.
I think it's like,
With you.
let's see here. I think it's at 0.045. Sorry.
Yeah, 045 is the current rate, I believe.
Yeah, so $79. So it's like what? It's like $4 off right now if you get it from the market.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I added it 0, I think.
My bad.
I was thinking about the name claim for party token. I was doing 0.45 instead of 0.045. Okay.
Yeah. Hey guys, I do need to hop off really quickly. Max, I had a great time, man. Thanks for the invite. Axis, always a pleasure to be live with you, man.
Yes, sir.
Of course, man.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Epic stream. Appreciate
Peace
it,
out,
man.
guys.
Thanks.
See you, brother.
And then there was 2.
That's right. As it was intended originally.
The original idea. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, Texan looking, it's actually consolidating or holding its levels quite well. I was surprised to see that. But yeah, earlier, remember I was saying that against Hex against ETH, it had hit that 3618. This is a fib channel instead of just flat fibs, but you can see here that this was a clean match, or over exceeded way big time, the 3618. That's why I was saying that earlier. And let's see here, we actually beat it now on the Hex WETH chart. We're actually exceeding the 3618 now here and heading higher. So next target would be the 4.236. In terms of percent wise, looking at 12% higher against ETH. Hex now is trading at 12.43 cents. It's up 28% in the last 4 hours on the wick and about 25% on the body. We're just destroying the dip catcher algo. It's just getting wrecked right now by Hex. It's just ripping right through. So pretty incredible. And then against, let's see how we're looking against Bitcoin. Okay, so we're not far off of that target, guys. I started at the beginning of the stream. Just got a little more to go, just another 28%, and we can hit that pennant target. I'll zoom into the daily so it makes more sense. And I'll get rid of some of this extra stuff so you can see it. So yeah, not too much left to go.
Amazing. Did you want to touch on Hedron?
Sure. Looks like Hedron's still going up.
Hedron ecosystem, if you got Icosa, Hedron, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Hedron's still moving up. Again, there's no liquidity in front of price, I think. Let's see here. Hedron USDC, I'll refresh. Yeah, so it's about to fall off a cliff. This can also move rapidly to the upside. These are very small amounts of Hedron locked, less than 1 billion. And then Icosa as well. Yeah, so there's a bar in front of Icosa. Looks like somebody could come in and accumulate a decent amount of Icosa here and get price nudged up to the edge before it starts to go into low liquidity. If I pull up the oh yeah, that's good. The Hedron, that's looking good. Icosa is just floating upward. Remember that there's a big band here where somebody could actually do a high volume buy here, and then push price to the edge of the band, and then it can just float higher. So it's a chance to accumulate. You want to see that, because if why would a whale incur a ton of slippage, right? Why would somebody put in $100,000 and only get $50,000 worth of something, right?
Right.
So in this case, they could get the big order in and then put the price up a little bit, not incur so much slippage, and then let the market take it from there. Looks like Hex is about to break the top of this channel here. It's at 12.5 cents. Liquidity. See what liquidity's doing. Yeah, we still have nothing for liquidity, guys. We need somebody to step up to the plate here and somebody sell their shit.
Step it up, guys. Step it up.
Come on, we don't want that. We don't want to see 50-cent Hex. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, would that not be the biggest signal to the market ever? If you ever heard of Hex and you listen to all the influencers who told you not to buy it, and it hit 50 cents again in I say bear market. I don't know what we're in right now, but
we're in a bull market. It's official. Yeah. Yeah. The way that you tell is if you pull down this. Let's see here. Do it. Couple things. We'll do a fib retracement. So the first level here is the 786. That's sitting at roughly 16 cents. I think that's a pretty reasonable level to go hit from these levels. Let's also kind of find some sort of confluence right here on this band of our channel that was resistance here, 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 here. So it's been resistance for us before. The question is, will it be resistance this time? You know, there's no liquidity sitting here, so it can really go straight up, unless you have somebody who wants to dump like $8 million. Like that might be enough to just, you know, flag us down, and then, you know, I'm willing to bet that somebody's going to accumulate around that 9 to 10 cent range, and then there again you'll have no liquidity, and then it'll go up even faster the second time. So yeah, this is your kind of point of control, is around 16 cents. That was where the breakdown occurred at the failed launch of Pulse back here in May of last year. So we're a little ahead of schedule here, and yeah, I think you guys kind of know how I feel about that. What else was I going to say about that in terms of analysis? Ooh, looks like somebody's taking the lead on Icosa.
Had a community question here that I want to pose to. Somebody asked, I'm curious about the math behind Hex and how can move in exponentials if OA does decide to bomb liquidity between chains. Metcalfe's law, dropping tiers, as he said, increased adoption can move price more.
Yeah, because he's just, if the OA were to combine wrapped Hex from ETH over to PulseChain and wrap it and match it up against Hex on that chain, all that means is that Hex and Hex are tied together so tightly that if Hex goes up on one chain, it's going to go up on the other chain, and if it goes down on one chain, it's going down. So they'll just move together, and it could be at any ratio. So it could be like 1 EHEX to 0.1 PHEX, or it could be, you know, 1 to a half, or the ratio will hold, but then they'll move up and down together within that framing or that ratio. I hope that kind of makes sense. So, you know, and then how do they move together? Well, they'll just, if somebody starts massively market buying EHEX, PulseChain Hex is going to go up too with it, because they're going to be so tightly bonded together. And that's kind of what I mean about Hex being the next Bitcoin or the true DeFi store of value token or asset, is that it's going to be so tightly binded between the two chains. It's going to be the one thing the one value transfer mechanism between a fully vertically integrated version of Ethereum that's faster blocks, bigger blocks, you know, better functionality, and then back to Ethereum, which is where all the economic energy is.
Take one more question from the chat too. I tried to answer it in chat, but he wants to know what you think too. Connor says 25K of Hex or 15K of PulseX sacrifice. I guess which one would you rather? Which puts you in a better position in your mind?
Depends on the time frame, and I think long term, Hex all the way. Short term, Hex. After Mainnet, there's going to be a gap there where you might be able to see a return on PulseX. I just don't know when, right? Because that ratio trading happens fast. You saw on the testnet there how Hex started out at 13.87 per pulse, and then it was, by the time we closed out and within 30 minutes, it was down to 7 point something. So you would have lost 50% of your value if you would have moved into PulseChain, but if you would have went into Hex, you would have doubled your pulse bag if you flip back at that point. So it's like the for sure bet is Hex, right? That the whole reason why that stuff got built was for Hex. I know it sounds like a shill answer, but that's just the way I see it.
It all starts and ends with Hex. I mean, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Everyone needs to remember that if you're new to PulseChain, new to Hex, Richard's favorite project is Hex. I highly speculate.
Yeah. Like he wants to beat Bitcoin, and right now Hex is up 397% against Bitcoin. Like coins don't do that to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the Mac Daddy. So like, this is the way, right? This is the way. Even if Pulse and PulseX get their run, like eventually Hex will be the thing because it's where you're going to get the most yield, the consistent yield.
What do you want to wrap us, take us out on, man? What, any enlightening thoughts? This stream is just, I think we all need to decompress. We need to decompress, we need to debrief each other. It's been amazing stuff. But yeah, what do you want to take us out on?
Well, I guess just, you know, congratulations to everybody that made it this far. You know, enjoy the gains. It's, you know, we waited 500 plus days to get out of the bear market, and I've been bullish the whole time. So thank you for putting up with me during that time frame. But I had a reason, and it's because Hex is headed for $1, and if you're in for that, if you're cool with that, like we can all rejoice. You know, it's not going to be that much longer, and by 2025 and 2026, this is all going to be ancient history, and so much price action will have happened by then. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know, just hang tight, check the LPs regularly, set LP if you're a big guy that wants to sell, and just you know, enjoy the ride more than anything, because there was only one other opportunity to do Bitcoin right a second time, and it manifested in the form of Hex. So, you know, I'm with you on this journey. If you want more specific information on a one-on-one basis, please feel free to go to my website and schedule a consultation. Those have been going really well. People are really enjoying them for strategizing around their ladders and kind of gaming what we think is going to happen when Mainnet launches, and all sorts of other questions around security and setting up business structures to help with different outcomes as far as tax reasons and stuff. And so if any of that's interesting to you, go check that out, or you can join up and be a pro member. And I got a really strong group of guys right now in there. We got Telegram group, private video sessions on Monday nights. Once a month we do a roundtable AMA, but right now with Mainnet and Testnet, we're going to have like voice chat going 24/7, so that's pretty cool. What else? Chart sets coming out right now. They're coming out like weekly or bi-weekly. I'm giving updates on all the markets, but right now the focus is on DeFi, and specifically the stuff that's going on with the RH ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, you know, look for new blogs. I'm going to be doing streams, you know, pretty regularly. AxisAlive.com/events to check out the new events that's coming up. And I appreciate RHMax for setting up this interview. He had to get me all the way back like 4 or 5 weeks ago to have this scheduled out. So I appreciate that, because my time is valuable, and I'm always working on new content for you guys. So yeah, I'm super appreciative. I'm glad that we got to stream when the testnet went live. Price action's been bonkers.
Epic.
I don't really expect to see anything stable happening. It's going to be very volatile and wild, and that's what's so exciting about this space. So cheers to you all. Best wishes. Looking forward to the future.
Well said, man. Well said. Yeah, check Axis out at AxisAlive, AxisAlive.com. Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. It's always good to have you. Always good to hear your analysis. And we made it, man. We made it. It's been a while, but we keep on making it. 2023. What a fool anyone would think it to be. I thought it was gonna be super boring for a while, but I thought, you know, it'd take some more time. But man, things are moving along. Oh my gosh, you guys! If you're in the Hex ecosystem, you're in the PulseChain ecosystem, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Oh yeah, by the way, it was really awesome. If you guys ever get a chance, go to a meetup. Meet these people. The
Yes.
Hexicans are real people, and I got to meet Max last fall, and for the first time in person, and that was a blast. We got to party and listen to the musicians of Hex kind of throw it down. That was
Amazing.
pretty cool.
You
So,
coming to Miami?
I think I will. I'm almost certain that I will be at the Hex Miami conference, hopefully to speak. I'll have to talk to Maddie about that. Of course, I always have a lot to say that way. So, yeah, I hope to be there, and I hope you'll be there too, so we can.
I'll be there. As far as I don't want to say I booked all my stuff, but I just have done that.
All right, cool.
I was just thinking about you on stage, and you got the printed out charts, and you're like pointing to them with your stick and stuff, like the traditional style. That'd be amazing. Like Hex up to right. Yeah, projector. Yeah. Awesome, man.
Bringing me back to 8th grade, 5th grade.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to hang out again. Miami, oh man, it's so good, so good. Everyone, yeah, go check out Axis stuff. You know what my channel is if you're interested. Sloth and Axis, as I mentioned earlier, they're basically regulars. There's a few people that I keep having on the ecosystem because they bring quality, value. They bring good stuff. They bring value. That's what the type of people I want to have on here. And yeah, man, can't thank you enough for coming on.
You've had a great run, coming out from nowhere and starting streaming, and I didn't know who you were, but I think Wales Only put me onto you, and you know, it's awesome that to see all the new faces that popped up in 2022 when times weren't the best, right? That's how you know that these guys are serious about this and that they're here to say. So I'm really excited to see how everything fleshes out for you in the future, brother.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, been following Richard for 6 years, was silent for 5 of those years, and then I was like, I need to have more utility. Let's start streaming. Got on Twitter, in the community. Best decision ever. Get to meet fine people like you. So everyone, go play with Testnet V3. It's out. Go look at your hex bags and smile and good stuff. Good stuff coming for the ecosystem. Scivive and 5555, everyone. We are out.
Peace.